But is it also not true that the House cannot suspend for more than 24 hours according to their rule books?
That is not true. This is not the first time that members have been suspended. This is the third or fourth generation. In each generation, there have been suspension orders where there is merit, even where there is no merit. We have seen cases where people are suspended. For instance, Honorable Pali Rease, who is now in the House of Reps, he was Deputy Speaker in the House. He was sent on suspension. He went on suspension and went to court.
How long did he?
It took a few months, but he got justice through the court.
Mr. Ojezua, I think the issue in Edo State, if we don't nip it in the bud now, there won't be peace in that state. But again, the way and manner we're trying to discuss it doesn't really look like we're headed anywhere, because first, the allegation, let's look at all the allegations and bring them in perspective. And first, you said the attack on Razak Momo wasn't as a result of all of this. But again, we're getting to hear his name as one of those who came forward to say, I've been giving money to do certain things. And if you look at it, the questions people are asking, is it okay for us to move even the proceedings of the assembly to the government or the extension of the government house by taking it off the assembly complex? That's number one. Two, is it wrong for anyone to decamp, knowing full well that most of the people in the assembly as we speak were once members of the PDP who also decamped and crossed carpet? And three, they are also alleging, that's the PDP in your state by Dan Obi, that the attack on Razak Momo is as a result of his moving from the APC to the PDP. So if we don't give answers to some of these allegations by the PDP in Edo State, it would amount to, well, not trying to sort this out once and for all.
I think that it will be appropriate for us to posit all these arguments on our system. We are a country that has subscribed to a constitution as the ground norm of our country. We are a country that subscribes to the rule of law. And if we go by those rules, we will achieve peace. So long as we continue to compromise. For instance, if the Constitution says, if you are sponsored by a political party to a legislature, whether at the House of Assembly or the National Assembly, and you move out of that party to another party, you vacate your seat. It's a mandatory provision of the Constitution. It provides one exception. If there is a division within the party, then your seat will be saved. So these are questions of fact that you and I, we know. So why do we pretend we do not know or that we cannot see it? And you know, so long as we continue to play the ostrich, we cannot lament over the situation.
And you think there wasn't any...
Now, I will give you an example with the Edo State House of Assembly. I'm coming now, let me finish. Victor Edora was in the PDP. Now, it turned out that he was one of those in the Baraje-led faction of PDP. We were all witnesses, Channels Television. I monitored it from Channels. When they went for their convention, a large group of people left their mates, went to another place. They had their own parallel executives. So for me, there was no question whether there was a division in PDP. And if arising from that division, the boy now decides that the faction he belongs to is not in consonance with those of them in Edo State, and he says he has now moved to APC in accordance with the resolution they all reached. He's entitled to do so.
You know,
unlike in APC, we don't have a division.
It's interesting now. Some people
you get the point. We don't have a division. We didn't have a faction. What happened? No, some people felt aggrieved by congresses held in their various units.
Because it was not democratically done. You said the government...
When you say division, you are talking factions with executives.
You have to listen to us.
In APC, we have one executive.
Mr. Ojezua, you have to listen to us.
In fact, they didn't even say they left the party because of division. They said they left the party because they were sponsored by ACN and not by APC. That was the reason they gave.
Which is, a lot of people argue, is
but
actually
not valid
because
APC has acquired the assets and liabilities of ACN, ANPP, and CPC.
We saw that same case in Ekiti with was it Opeyemi Bamidele, contestants who refused. He said the platform upon which he was elected was the ACN, and as such, he's not willing to join the APC.
Yeah, yes.
You know, that has not been tested in the court. So how can we say that?
See again,
you know,
when you keep talking about testing in the court, it's the same thing that I'm telling you. A lot of these things are questions of fact. For instance, if a boy is elected on the platform of ACN, and APC comes in to inherit ACN, we are all required to go and register. They all also register in APC. Can they now come back to say they are not APC?
Well, that's as if they registered, right?
They did. That's what I'm telling you. We have their registration particulars. The matter is in court, and we will show it. But you see, because we want to preserve the rule of law, and so in every opportunity we have, we go to the law courts. We have done that consistently, even though it is painfully slow, but we think that that is the way to go to preserve our democracy. You see, you cannot rely on self-help and expect to get justice.
But a lot of people
and you cannot do it selectively. They have approached the court, which means they know the right thing to do. Why don't you stay with the courts?
Are you saying that there's been no executive interference in what is happening here, especially at the state level?
No.
A lot of people will say that it was saying that the governor is actually granting protection to APC members within the State House of Assembly.
Protection from who? If I may ask.
Or is it deliberately?
No, tell me.
Is it persecution?
If you say the governor is granting them protection.
Is it persecuting?
No, if you say let us take it from that. If you say the governor is granting them protection, it means they are threatened. Who is threatening them? No, please, you tell me.
That is definitely one question.
Because those people who tell you that must tell you those who are pursuing them. But let me also say, the duty to protect lies with the security agencies, namely the police, the State Security Service, perhaps the military. All of them are in the hands of the president, who is a product of PDP. The governor, you may say the governor is chief security officer. You and I know that the chief security officer has no control over the organs of security in the state.
Now, when it became impossible,
he only is relevant whenever money is required to support them.
Exactly.
In spite of the fact that huge sums are allocated to them in their budget.
You're beginning to hit the nail on the head.
Exactly.
You know, in terms of, you know, the kind of monies they're getting, it might not directly need to have to do with security, but the fact that, you know, state access is open to them. For instance, now they're sitting within the government house, as they say, in the old assembly complex.
See, when you say government house, government house is not an individual's property. The government is made of there are three arms of government. One government. The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They make up government.
I think we just
coming now.
No, you don't listen to us. We ask questions, and every time I will answer it. Every time we try to come in, you don't get to listen to us.
Because there's something you need to know.
No, because we ask questions, and when we get what we want, we ask a further question. But you don't.
Even if I have not answered?
No, because once we get the answer, we move on to the next one.
I haven't answered.
There are loads of issues that we want to talk about, and we've been going back and forth, and we haven't actually reached it. Because we wanted.
Just a moment.
Let me ask this now.
All right.
Bright Omohodion, you know him very well.
I know him.
He was a speaker in Edo State.
Yes, I know him.
And you remember his original party before he moved on. And when
I don't understand.
Okay, good. You know, he was a member of the PDP before he moved to the AC at that time.
Yes.
He didn't vacate his seat. The question people are asking is, why is it now Edo State APC is seen wrong in all of this, because the tables have turned?
All right, let me, before I even go further, that's why I wanted to correct the wrong perception when you say they are meeting in the precincts of Government House. Where they are, the chambers in which they are meeting now was the original chambers of the House of Assembly.
I know the assembly pretty well in Edo State.
Excuse me.
That was the old one. So the
Okay,
assembly,
that was the old one.
Assembly.
Do you agree?
That it has ceased to be the assembly.
No, it has not.
It has,
is still
Mr.
their
Ojezua.
property.
Mr. Ojezua, it has ceased to be the assembly.
No.
The assembly was shut, and you moved the assembly to a place that had been abandoned that we cannot call the assembly of Edo State.
No, you can't say that. It is the members.
When was the last time they sat in that particular assembly?
It is the House of Assembly members that will determine where they will meet.
A divided
The
house?
House of Assembly. There is nothing like a divided house. The Constitution knows that you cannot have 100%. That's why the rules say, in certain respects, simple majority, in other respects, two-thirds majority, depending on the issue. It does not ask for 100%. How can 9 be superior to 15?
But then again,
and why would you encourage 9 not to toe the line of the majority simply because it doesn't go their way?
But then again,
if you do that on any issue,
Sulaiman
really
has raised
progress?
a very pertinent question in the sense that he says this is not the first time it has happened. Why is it that at this particular point in time that they're asking, okay, now let us follow the rule of law?
My sister, I don't know what to tell you, but let me say this. If you sleep on your rights, it doesn't mean all of us must do the same. So if those who were concerned at the material time did not see the need for it, it does not make it compromisable. The provisions of the Constitution, they are sacrosanct.
Do you see an end
and
to
we
this?
need to protect it.
I'm afraid
Do
we're
you
out of
see
time
an
on
end to
this
this
one.
violence?
In that way.
There will be an end to the violence so long as PDP determines that it should end.
All right. Mr. Anslem Ojezua is the chairman of APC in Edo State. Thank you very much indeed for coming on this morning.
Thank you, my brother.
We'll be back after this. We've got another perspective on this same matter, so please join us again.